What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with They Cutting the Fool, you guys, and we are in the car, so y'all are in the passenger seat with me. Hopefully, people know how to drive today, so I don't have to go off, right? But before we go ahead and get into the video, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then have me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what they tripping on this weekend. You're too far into the road, buddy. Shall we? You know something real quick before we even talk about what we came here to talk about? I just don't understand people who buy these ugly Teslas. Like, there's a Tesla literally in front of me. Now, I will say that the color, it's a cute color. Other than that, the car is ugly as hell. Just a butt ugly car. But yeah, They Cutting the Fool, you guys. I think this is number 28 of They Cutting the Fool. So, I meant to do this video last night, and then I meant to do it this morning. But each time I just never really sat down to actually record this video. So if you have been living under a rock, then you don't know what's going on. So it was late. There go the Tesla right beside me. It was late yesterday when I was on the blogs, right? And I saw that Tyler Perry had been hit with a $260 million SA lawsuit. I was like, damn, that's a lot of money, right? And then I was looking at the guy that was suing him. I was like, wait a minute. Is that Dale from the Oval? And lo and behold, it was Dale from the Oval. I was like, oh, wow. So, y'all know what They Cutting the Fool. I typically try to keep these videos at 30 minutes, right? So that's the goal for this video, is 30 minutes. So today I did go and look at the court documents. It's a 46-page court document. I know some of the blogs have posted some of the text messages, but they didn't post every text message they didn't post every text message, right? So what I also will say is I think it's a disservice to people who have been victims of SA and not this case, not this lawsuit. What I'm seeing people doing, right? Because people are diminishing Dale's claim. People are like, oh, the text messages don't show harassment. Oh, the text messages show that they were flirting with each other. Oh, the text messages this. Oh, you know, like Tyler's attorneys are saying that this is basically him, you know, trying to scam Tyler out of money, right? But I noticed that they don't, like, here's the thing. This isn't a whole situation of is Tyler Perry gay or not, right? Now, I did look at the text messages, and I will be honest, for me personally, I don't see anything that screams, damn, bitch. Like, you went from this lane to this lane to that lane in a matter of seconds with no fucking signal light on. I'm glad that I saw you at the corner of my eye. Back to what I was saying. So, I did look at the text messages, right? And for me personally, I don't really see harassment, but what I do 100% see, if those text messages are Tyler Perry, what I do see is a boss who is having an inappropriate relationship with someone that works for him, right? Because in one text message, you see, you know, Tyler Perry has lost a lot of weight, right? And so we see him in the water. I think he was near jet ski, right? And, you know, he was like, you know, the water looks good or whatever. He was like, you don't see that stud in the water. Talk about himself, right? Then they also talked about, you know, also some things were mentioned about Netflix, Amazon, and all that kind of stuff. Somebody's music is really loud, and it's not mine. But they talked, so like I said, for me personally, I don't know if I saw harassment, But then if you read the court documents, and if you read what the news outlets has reported. So again, we know Dale was on the Oval. Well, his name is Derek Dixon, but he was on the Oval. He played Dale, right? And we know Dale's character was a gay, which also I will say this about Derek Dixon. I don't know how Derek identifies, if he's straight, bisexual, pansexual. I don't know how he identifies. But what I will say is, looking at those text messages, it does look like he probably does struggle with his sexual identity. I will say that part. I do think he struggles with. And, I think at one point he was, because look at some of them text messages, because they were sexually suggestive. They were very sexually suggestive. Then, one of them mentioned him being jealous of Brad. And if you guys don't know who he's talking about when it comes to Brad, Brad is one of the actors on the Oval who plays a character by the name of Kyle, right? And so I think they went walking one day to get his steps in, and according to the text message, Tyler was, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes because this is alleged, that he was jealous, right? But then he said he was walking to Chipotle, and then Tyler alluded to him being thick Derek, right? And I was like, okay, very interesting, right? Then it also talked about the fact that I guess they were at a party, and according to Derek, he felt like Tyler kind of scoped him out. But then if you look at one of the text messages, it was like, and I'm paraphrasing when I say this part, it was basically he doesn't have friends on set. His friends don't work for him, and that they need to, whatever, you don't tell people about the relationship, so to speak, because if they do, then people are going to kind of start looking at him and thinking he didn't get where he got based on his talent. They would think that he got it because of preferential treatment, so to speak, right? And I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense to an extent. But then we get a little deeper into it, because it did seem like at one point Derek was trying, I guess Derek had some ideas for shows that he wanted to pitch, and he was looking for Tyler for some help with that. And Tyler was like, and this is according to the text messages, Tyler was like, that's not for his audience. But, oh God, you driving way too fast, like you almost hit my car. But according to Tyler, it's not for his audience, right? But according to Tyler, it was good. And so I guess he would help him with, this, with whatever, pitching it to whoever he wanted to pitch it to, right? Because I guess Tyler was like, he missed out on that show, Schitt's Creek. And I guess this was something similar to Schitt's Creek. I don't know. Then we also got to the point where it was talked about where Derek went to Tyler's home one night. He was drunk, and I guess Tyler was drunk too. So he slept somewhere else. But then he says in the course of the night, Tyler came into his room and was rubbing his thighs. Then he said there was one time where he stayed over to Tyler's house, and he had his underwear on, and Tyler pulled his underwear down and was just grabbing his ass, and then he choked him around the neck, and he was like, are you into that kind of stuff, right? And again, like I said, when it comes to Derek, it feels like to me Derek may be either gay or bisexual, but Derek hasn't necessarily come to terms with that, maybe because of religion or whatever. Also, something that I caught in that whole situation was the fact that Derek was saying that the character Dale, now remember, we know Dale from the Oval. If you watch the Oval, you know Dale. Dale came to Oval. He started working at Kareem's Pharmacy because he didn't have anywhere to go. He had no money. He didn't have no family. He was a gay man. And so he was dependent on other people. And according to what Derek is saying, Derek says that that's what Tyler Tyler wants, is someone who is dependent upon him. Here's my thing. I could never be dependent on somebody else. Would it be nice to have somebody do nice things for me and, pay my bills every blue moon? Yes. But to be dependent on somebody, I could never do it, because the minute that you become dependent upon somebody, that's going to always be something that they hold against you and over your head, right? So I would never want that. Also, I want to say this, because it feels like people are, yes, if you look at the text messages, yes, it does seem like it's a flirty relationship between Derek and Tyler. But at the same time, Derek works on Tyler Perry's show, The Oval. So in a sense, Derek is his employee. Tyler is the boss. This is a very, very, very inappropriate relationship. Like, this could be, hostile work environment, because I think that's also mentioned in the lawsuit, hostile work environment. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, your boss is making sexual advances at you. Girl, I just couldn't do it, and I wouldn't do it, because it's weird as hell. And it also, people have also brought up the whole thing about Christian Keys when he was on live, and he was talking about this black billionaire. He never said a name. He never put a name to it, but I know a lot of people basically assumed that it was Tyler, and I'm not saying that it was or it wasn't, but I just think it's so weird that, like I said earlier, I've been online all day. There are some people who are very supportive of Derek, right? People believe Derek, which I believe Derek, right? Until something comes out and and it's proven that either this was a shakedown or whatever. But I do believe that there's some validity to this. I honestly feel like there's some validity to what Derek is saying, you guys. Like, that's me personally. I need black people to get out of the whole, Tyler Perry is this, Tyler Perry is that, Tyler Perry does this for the black people, the black actors and actresses, and all this kind of stuff. I need us to get out of that real quick. Right? Because if allegedly what Derek is saying is true, that Tyler has made advances, like, if that's the truth, then we got to treat Tyler Perry the same way we treated Diddy, the same way we treat R. Kelly. We got to treat them all the same way. That is my personal opinion. If any of this stuff comes out to be true about Tyler, I'm literally gonna do him just like I do Diddy, and just like I do Tyler, and I do R. Kelly. Like, I cannot separate the person from the art. Because I kid you, like, now, because I haven't listened to a Diddy song. I really don't listen to Diddy songs like that these days anyways. Same with R. Kelly, right? But we have to treat them all the same. But then, like I said earlier, you have the people who are making fun of this, making a mockery of this, and I'm like, this is not funny. And this is precisely the reason why, men don't feel comfortable coming forward with, SA allegations, right? Because they're not believed, right? People don't believe them, and if they do believe them, then they make fun of them, like, oh, you a man, like, how can you be SA'd by another man easily? So that's one thing I'm seeing up and down my timeline, is people making fun of Derek, people not believing Derek, people saying, oh, he just coming after Tyler because Tyler got all this money. Like, y'all, everything is a transaction with some people. Yes, it is a transaction, but I do believe this. Like I said, look at Christian Keys again. He never put a name to it. But when you think about black billionaires, there are a lot of them in Hollywood. Well, not actually. That's another thing. There's not a lot of them in Hollywood. But I don't know, you guys. I really don't know. We gonna watch it and see what happens. and go forward from there. But I at this point I'm choosing to believe Derek. I keep want to call him Dale, but I choose to believe Derek. Now, also, because I also was reading in one of the text messages, right? And he was talking about how, taking a character out if he needs to. And this is my interpretation. You guys can tell me if you guys have a different interpretation of it, right? Because this also kind of leads to, I feel like this also kind of leads to the validity of what he's saying. Because is Dale still alive on the Oval? That's my question. Is Dale still alive on the Oval? Because if Dale's not alive on the Oval, it can lend itself towards what he's saying, that he was making advances towards me, and that if I didn't accept his advances, that he would unalive my character. But again, I don't know if Dale is still alive on the Oval. I guess I could have done a quick Google search and found out if Dale is still alive on the Oval, because I ain't watched the Oval in God knows how long. I haven't watched the Oval in quite a month of Sundays. So let's take a look and see. Yeah, I don't know if Dale is alive or not, but you guys can tell me. If you guys are still watching the Oval, definitely tell me if Dale is still alive on the Oval, because if he's not, then like I said, this kind of lends itself to credibility with what he's saying. But again, I'm going to repeat it one more time, that at this current moment, I'm choosing to believe Derek. And I also will say this, for me personally, again, like I said earlier, I don't give a damn if Tyler is gay, straight, bi, whatever. And I think that was also something that they were connecting on, because in the text messages, it was like Tyler was saying that, he wasn't really comfortable with his sexuality until about his 30s or 40s, right? And I was like, okay, cool. But here's the thing, when it comes to you and your sexuality, Tyler, I'm not going to sit here and say that, Tyler Perry needs to come out the closet and live his life as a gay man, as a bisexual man, as any of that stuff, right? I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is, don't be a predator, don't be a creep to other men. Yeah, you might have a type. If those men don't like you, for God knows what reason, you might not be they may like a man of a certain height. They may like a man of a certain build. Just because you got money, power, and influence, and that's also something that Tyler probably needs to relinquish control of, is like because everything with his shows, he does it, right? Tyler Perry, written by Tyler Perry, directed by Tyler Perry, screenplay, everything is by Tyler Perry. Relinquish some of that control to other people, so that way, when instances like this, if this were a thing where the writers just decided, okay, we're gonna, and I'm just saying in the offset that Dale is not on the Oval anymore, right? But let's just say on the offset that Dale is not still on the Oval. On the offset, it wouldn't be like, oh, well, my boss was trying to pressure me to have sex with him in order to keep my character around. And you can be like, oh shit, I'm not a part of the writing team. Like, I don't write on my own shows, but unfortunately, Tyler does write on his own shows, right? I'm pretty sure he casts for his shows, his plays, right? Because people have said for years that Tyler casts what he likes, which I think I think that can be, your perception, right? I mean, take a look at all the men that he's hired for his plays, his television shows, right? They all have a certain look to them. And I'll leave that up for you guys to deduce what that look is, right? I mean, we know what the look is, right? Muscular. Sometimes light-skinned men, white men that are muscular, and dark-skinned men that are muscular. He loves a muscular man. Let's just be real about the whole situation. He loves a muscular man. But, like I keep saying, if this is true, it's going to be a problem for Tyler Perry. it's going to be a big problem for him if this turns out true. What I honestly feel like was going to happen with him and Derek, I don't necessarily know if this was going to make it to court. I honestly feel like they may settle outside of court. I really thought they may settle because, like I said, his lawyer feels like this is a scam, but he didn't deny that. You know, he didn't deny some things, right? They're not denying that, you know, he had a relationship with the man. So, okay. But yeah, I want you guys to just tell me what you guys think and what you guys feel about this whole situation with Tyler, and we will discuss it down in the comments section below, you guys. So that's all I got. Be sure to like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Somebody just made a whole ass U-turn in the middle of the road. And you can't even make it. I don't even think you can make a U-turn. Well, you shouldn't make a U-turn because it's construction right here. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But hey, you guys, that's it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications. You guys share the video. And until next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys. So I'm thinking this video is going to be up Thursday morning. That's the goal right now, is Thursday morning. And then I still got to find topics for let's get into the blogs. And that will be the wrap. Oh, also, you guys, Real Housewives of Miami. Well, by the time y'all see this, I'll already have either done my live of the Real Housewives of Miami, but the panel. We will have the panel on Thursday. If it's not on, I think it's on Yakrati's channel this week. I need to talk to the group to see whose channel it's on, but I think it's Ya's channel. And that is it, you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. So as always, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all. All right, you guys, so I'm coming back to you guys with a quick little thought. And yes, I got the fan on because I just turned my car off and I ain't trying to burn up. So quick little thought. So I was making a point when I was on here a few minutes ago, and I don't know if I wrapped up the point, but what I was saying is when it comes to Tyler Perry, clearly the man has a type, right? And what I was saying is if your type is not interested in you, you shouldn't then use your money, your power, and your influence, and this is all allegedly, to get these men to do what you want them to do in order to advance their careers, right? If somebody don't like you, they don't like you, and they don't want to be with you. They don't want to be romantically linked with you, sexually linked with you, any of that stuff. So learn what no means no, right? But also, you guys, I came back to you guys because somebody left a comment. I was under Layla Land's video earlier today, and I posted that I didn't necessarily, like I said in my video, I didn't necessarily see the sexual harassment, but I did see an inappropriate workplace, you know, inappropriate relationship with a boss and an employer, right? So it prompted me because somebody was like, there was the text messages were sexual in nature, so it is in all caps sexual harassment. First of all, you ain't got to put in all caps when you, baby. I can read. So it prompted me to go Google sexual harassment, you guys. So I'm gonna read you guys sexual harassment. It says sexual harassment is unwelcome conduct of sexual nature that creates a hostile or offensive environment. It can involve unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. This can also include offensive remarks about a person's sex. Harassment can happen in various settings, including workplace, school, or online, and can affect anyone regardless of gender. Unwelcome conduct. The conduct must be unwelcome to the person experiencing. Nature of a conduct. It can include sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, or other verbal, physical, or visual conduct of sexual nature. Hostile environment, it says the conduct must be severe or persuasive enough to create a hostile or offensive work or learning environment. Impact, it can affect employment decisions, create a hostile environment, or interfere with an individual's work performance. Examples of sexual harassment: verbal, physical, visual, and quid pro quo. So, kind of sounds like he might have a case against him, right? because with the text messages, I will say, with a text message, it can't convey what a person felt in that particular moment, right? So, and oftentimes when it comes to text messages, people take things out of context when it comes to a text message, right? Because you don't actually see or hear the person as they're texting, typing it. You don't see their facial expressions or any of that stuff, right? So, who knows? We will, like I said, we'll continue to keep our eye on this. And the more I know about it, then I'll come back to you guys with that information. But yeah, I want to come back to you guys with that little tidbit of information. So yeah, let me hop off of here and run in the store. And like I said earlier, you guys should see this video sometime tomorrow morning. My goal is for it to be about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.